So welcome to our home. Today I'm going to talk about our radiators within our home, getting the most efficient use from our radiators. I'm going to show you what we do, a couple of top tips that you can do also to make sure you get the most efficient use from your radiators. Now, if you're like us and you've got a combination boiler, and that combination boiler feeds hot water through the radiators, and that's how you heat your living space. It's an old-fashioned way of heating houses, but it's what most of us in the UK do. So let's get the most efficient use from that, because of course the cost of gas is on the rise. It's going to go up even more in 2023. And it probably makes more sense to, if we're going to burn gas to heat our homes, to use it as efficiently as possible so that it costs us less, and of course it costs the planet less in terms of carbon dioxide pollution. So the radiators in our home. There's a couple of top tips I'm going to share with you. First one's going to be about bleeding a radiator. I've got a radiator behind me in the bathroom that I know needs bleeding because we changed a valve on it a little while back. So I'll show you how to bleed that, give you a couple of top tips there, and then we'll look at a couple of other radiators in the home to look at how we get the most efficient use from those. And I know there's at least one video out there trying to scare people off of bleeding their own radiators. I can assure you it's ridiculously simple to do. Don't fear it. But there's one thing you can check on your boiler to make sure you're on the right track. I'll also show you that, make sure we're in the right zone on our boiler to make sure we're not causing any problems by bleeding our radiators, and I'll take that into the end of this video to help you there. So first of all, let's start off with this radiator behind me. Let's get that bled and get the most efficient use from that. Let me show you how that works. So here we have it. It's a radiator. It's a towel radiator. The bleed is at the top there. Let me just, I'm going to grab the camera, show you how that works. I've got a bleed key to help me to bleed it. You could also use a screwdriver for most of these modern ones as well. Let me show you how, what we're looking for to effectively bleed a radiator. So I know this one needs bleeding because when the central heating comes on, it doesn't heat all the way up to the top. The top part is a little bit cooler than the bottom part. So we want to get basically the heat going around the whole radiator, don't we, to get the most efficient use from it. So rather than having a colder area at the top, which is full of air, I'm going to get the air out and show you how to do that. So let me grab the camera with the bleed key. So let's have a look on the top there. Do you see there's the little bleed thing? Now sometimes they're on the sides. This one's right at the very, very top. So I'm just going to put the key in there and I'll stop talking when I do it, but you'll hear air coming out of here. And we let the air out until the water starts bubbling through. So let me just undo it slowly. Right, and there we go. So we let the air out until water started coming out, and I managed to get a bit of water on the camera as well to make the point. So we've let the air out of that radiator now, and then I redid it back up again, and that's all we need to do. Just let the air out. Don't let loads of water come out because you're going to let the pressure out of your system, and we're going to come to that in a moment, show you what not to watch out for there. Right then, so here we are in our spare room. So this is a room that we can use for dry and washing if we need to. And we've got an area here to hang washing by the radiator, but we don't hang washing over the radiator. Let's have a quick look at the top of the radiator. You can see down the back there we have fins there for directing the airflow. So a radiator actually works as a convector. So it's designed to draw colder air in from the underneath. Cold air stays lower, doesn't it? And then it heats up, and those fins are to direct the air up, and normally we have it in front of a radiator in our homes, don't we? So warm air just goes up and around the room. There's a circulation of air around the house that way. So if we hang washing and stuff over the radiator, then we block off that circulation. That's kind of how our radiators are designed to work. The word radiator, obviously, you know, radiating heat. We do feel some radiated heat from a radiator, but it's mostly used as a convector to convect air around the room. So that's why, if you're going to dry washing, hang it on something close to the radiator rather than actually on the radiator itself. And that way you're going to get the most efficient use of the heat. You're going to be burning gas to heat this radiator up. So the most efficient thing you can do is to not block the radiator off completely, just have washing near it, and that way you heat the room up. You do obviously have moisture in the air when you do that, so there are various things we can talk about those, you know, dehumidifiers, vents in trickle vents in windows, all those sort of ways that we get moisture out of our home. But if we have to dry washing within our home, then let's do it efficiently. Let's not burn excessive amounts of gas to do it. Let's have another quick look at another radiator just outside of this room here, and we can see here We haven't got any washing on it, but we have actually got a few things on top of it. So we've got that blocking off the convection, so I need to remove that. And we've got some leaflets here. Anyone pops around to our home, we run a home-based business, we always give them a leaflet. Maybe put on top of the radiator this time of the year is not the best place to store those. Okay, so here we are back in the kitchen. So like I said before, we did a video on getting the most efficient use from this boiler. I'll link that up above. But just going to show you what I just need to watch out for. If you're going to bleed your radiators, we are working with pressurised systems these days, and we don't want to lose too much pressure from that system. So very handily, our combination boiler, and pretty much all the modern boilers out there, have a little gauge on them to help make us aware of the pressure in the system, so that we can make sure we keep it within the green range, the safe range for it to operate, so we don't get any bangs and crashes from the central heating while it's trying to operate. So let me just demystify that, give you the assurance there, so you can go on and bleed your radiators. Definitely don't need to call out any qualified plumbers to do this. This is one of those jobs that you definitely want to do yourself, and the plumbers are busy enough this year. If they're not busy, then they're not a very good plumber. This time of the year, they're going to be far too busy to come and help you bleed your radiators. So let's have a quick look at my boiler. So it's the combination boiler we looked at in the previous video. And we've got a pressure gauge. You can see the gauge there, and that gives us our pressure range. You can see there we are within the green. So that's what we want to be. We want to be within the green. And there's a little valve underneath. You can put a bit more water in it. So I'm at the lower end of the green, as you can see there. So I can always just put a bit more water and bring the pressure back up to the higher end of the green if I want to be. But green is good enough. I'm happy with it there. And I know that my radiator upstairs that I had some air in, that's now bled. We've now sorted out the bits that was cluttering up the radiator in the hallway, and I've shown you how we efficiently dry washing it in the house without putting it over the radiators. We put it by the radiators, in front of the radiators. We've got a freestanding thing as well that we use to dry or air washing within the home, and then we just extract that the extra moisture within the air. We extract that through, we've got a dehumidifier, we've got trickle vents in the windows upstairs. We don't have a damp house, and we don't intend to have a damp house. So I hope that's helped. Let me know in the comments what you think, and any other top money saving tips that you guys have got, drop them in the comments. We'd love to hear your thoughts.